Hello, today we will be making this leg vise, and this is my first ever leg vise that I've built, and I find it really useful around the shop. First, let's make the vise screw. I start by getting two 1x3s and laminating them together. Next, using a plane, I turn that square into an octagon. Next, I'm going to drill a hole to fit a piece of bar. You'll see why later. Next, I'm going to mix up some epoxy so I can put some epoxy on the screw. And this screw is just a jack screw which I cut off the base and drilled the hole there the same size as the one earlier so I can fit a piece of bar in there to lock everything in place. Next, we're going to put the screw into our wooden handle piece, making sure that the holes line up so we can fit a piece of bar in there. But first, we need to put epoxy there too. After that, I'm going to be drilling a hole here so we can fit a piece of dowel in. Next, so we can attach the keeper, which is the part that will bring the vise jaw back out, we're going to drill a shallow hole, maybe quarter of the way through to half of the way through. Just don't make it all the way through. We don't need to make it all the way through, but you can make it all the way through if you want. Next, for the keeper, I get a circle piece of wood and then drill a hole in the middle to fit our screw. Next, I get my vise screw assembly, and as you can see, I've just added a piece of dowel there. It can be any piece of dowel. And just screw pieces of wood at the end so it won't slip out. As you can see, I'm just going to screw it into the hole, but if you've drilled the hole all the way through, then just do the bar and epoxy method that we did earlier. For the vise chop, I'm going to be laminating some 1x3s together. First, I laminate the first 4 pieces first so that I can add the 2 shorter pieces later. Next, I'm going to be laminating the 2 side pieces. Next, I'm going to plane the chop flat. Next, I'm going to get a 2.5-inch Forstner bit, and as you can see, my drill is having trouble with this bit. With a 2.5-inch Forstner bit, only drill to 3/4 to 1 inch deep because our actual screw is only 1.5 inch in diameter. The 2.5-inch hole is only for the keeper to rest in. The 1.5-inch hole is for the screw to go through. Next, I'm going to drill a hole in the leg of my bench for the screw to fit in. I wasn't able to record it because it was in a weird angle, but I just screwed the nut of the jack screw to the back of the bench leg. Next, we will be making the parallel guide. So, I'm just going to drill a bunch of holes in this piece of 1x4, and we need this parallel guide, and you'll see why later. I am chiseling out a mortise for my parallel guide to fit in. Next, I put my parallel guide in, but don't put any glue. We are going to lock it in place by first drilling a hole, adding a dowel in, flush cutting it, and putting a screw in so it will be locked in place. You will need to mortise a hole in your bench for it to fit in. The reason why we need this parallel guide is if you put a piece of board in and tighten it, it will just close in at the bottom and it won't hold tight at all. Right here, I'm going to make the plate that the keeper can push back at so that the vise can open. And these are usually made out of metal, but I want to try making it out of wood here. So I'm just going to drill the same 1.5-inch hole there. The vise is not done yet, but we can just temporarily use it so that we can rip this thing in half. And right now we can put this around the screw and we can screw it onto the chop. Now let's test it out. As you can see, I've just got a piece of metal in there to act as the pin, and I have it there, but it depends on the stock that you're using and what you are putting inside the vise, and you can adjust where that bar is. And as you can see, it holds really tight. The vise just like flops around a little bit, but it still holds really tight, and there are some minor adjustments that you can do at the back for the vise to wobble less. And as you can see, that parallel guide acts like a lever so that the force of the vise gets multiplied at the top. After you're done working in the edge of your board, you can open it, change the pin location, And you can hold the board by face. I hope you consider liking the video and subscribing to my channel if you want to see more of the content. I hope you can comment down below if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions. So that would be it for today, guys. Bye!